The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this business.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, April 7th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how you doing on this Wednesday?
Here, doing good, buddy. How you doing this morning?
Doing all right. You know, it's the middle of the week. It's a hump day. It's a little bit of a shorter week for us since we took Monday off, but we're ready for a wonderful show today.
Yeah, should be good. Connections hopefully work out well.
Fingers crossed. All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, say you are somebody who provides services at a medical spa. What did you do to get yourself ready to basically start some sort of medical treatment before you get started?
Probably have them fill out paperwork and get all that information in.
What about you personally? What do you do to get sort of into the zone to get ready to maybe perform a small surgery or something along those lines?
Maybe listen to music, I guess. You get your mind cleared before you do it, I would imagine.
All right. Getting the mind clear.
I don't really have much for you on that one. Sorry, dude.
I'd say that's probably where most people would go. And I apologize that I may be taking this from Florida man, but authorities in Florida say a man who did not have a valid medical license drank 4 Locos while giving Botox injections at a Jacksonville spa. According to Action News, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested Nelson Amilcar Turin, 47, on March 12th after an undercover detective saw him drinking alcoholic beverages at a legitimate spa on San Jose Boulevard. He now faces multiple charges, including 3 counts of possessing legend drugs and 1 count of practicing medicine without a license, the news outlet reported. In a news conference Wednesday, the JSO said it began investigating Turin after receiving a tip from other law enforcement officers. Our detectives conducted an investigation and found several online videos showing Turin injecting clients with Botox and doing other treatments. JSO Director Mike Bruno said he would do lip, chin, cheek fillers, nose lifts, as well as many other Botox-type injections. Turin, who charged $350 for services that generally cost 3 times as much, fooled spa employees into believing that he was a licensed professional. Bruno said Turin had several of these videos on different social media outlets or on the internet showing the services that he provided, including an ad for Botox and Bubbles event at the spa. Bubbles referred to champagne and 4 Locos, which Turin drank while consulting with patients, Bruno said. So, yeah, if you're going in for Botox, 1, make sure that you've got a licensed practitioner, and 2, make sure he's not pounding 4 Locos, because that's definitely no way to get yourself in the headspace to start injecting people with botulism.
You definitely don't want to be doing that. It sounds a little crazy there.
Yeah, but, it's Florida and anything can happen there. And, the good news is there's always a ton of Florida man stories, so I didn't think that this would set you back too far for tomorrow's show.
Oh, no. There's always plenty Florida man.
Exactly. Well, folks, it is Wednesday. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
Hump Day! Yeah!
It is Hump Day. And as we do on Wednesdays, we have Words Are Hard. We have a segment called Teach Me Your Ways. Our call-in topic today is your favorite terrible movie. It's a movie you know is terrible. Everybody else knows it's terrible, but you love it anyway. We have a segment called Whatever Happened to the Cast of... Well, you're going to have to wait to find out on that. We round out the day with This Day in History. And up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Behold my precious. Ooh, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, yeah, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month. Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy. From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude. Cowabunga! To the Loot Gaming video game box. Woohoo! Yee-hoo! Wowzers! With crits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors. To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott! Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. We have a little thing we talk about a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe your medical practitioner pounded some Four Locos before giving you Botox. We want to hear about it. Give us a call at 855 Phoenix Radio. That's 855 FENIX RDO or 855 336 4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, it is the second segment of this show. That means Tony is here with the entertainment news.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It is, what day is it? Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. So here's your Filippo Fast Five. Sharon Noel, Quantum of Solace actor Paul Ritter dies at age 44. Sadly, that's young. Mark Elliott, voice behind classic Disney trailers and Star Wars radio spot, dies at 81. Chucky teaser arrives. Franchise stars Alex Vincent and Christine Ellis McCarthy return to the cast of Chucky, which arrives on Sci-Fi and USA Network this fall. Little teaser trailer popped out. That was entertaining. Sylvester Stallone will not appear in Creed 3. Texas Rangers host over 38,000 fans at home opener, making it one of the first full-capacity sporting events this year. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having issues here in between the breaks. I can't get the sound to go into headphones. It's just coming through the computer, and it says it's connected, so it's throwing me off. And
that is strange.
This is going to be a hopefully not so much of a cluster, but not as organized as I usually am. But we'll just roll with it. Godzilla vs. Kong registers the biggest HBO Max audience yet. It was not only the king of the box office with a 5-day domestic gross of $48.1 million, but it appears that the Monsterverse grudge match was also a big hit at home, according to third-party streaming ratings film Samba TV. Samba TV reported that Monday that 3.6 million households watched at least 5 minutes of Godzilla vs. Kong on HBO Max in its first 5 days on the service from March 31st to April 4th. Even though these are only third-party numbers, this gives Godzilla vs. Kong a distinction of having the biggest audience for HBO Max to date. For comparison's sake, the Christmas weekend launch of Wonder Woman 84 2.2 million households for at least 5 minutes, while Zack Snyder's Justice League scored 1.8 for at least 5 minutes. Let's see. It should be noted, like most streaming services, HBO Max did not provide any official viewership data for Godzilla vs. Kong, and Samba TV only pulls viewers from terrestrial smart TVs. The good news for Warner Media is that Samba TV figures are very impressive, and if we did have official data, we'd likely see that the film did remarkably well on the platform. Warner Media direct-to-consumer EVP and general manager Andy Forssell said the movie had a larger viewing audience than any other film or show on HBO Max since launch. Forssell didn't back this up with tangible data, but this has been the name of the game for most streaming services, and we just have to take their word for it. The success of Godzilla vs. Kong and at home and in theaters is pretty impressive for a few reasons. Only 55% of the U.S.-Canada exhibition market is up and running, so its $48.1 million 5-day opening is great in this pandemic movie era of moviegoing, where movie theaters are still operating at limited capacity. This is also great because HBO Max option does cut into the theatrical business. So the next big movie to go up there on HBO Max will be Mortal Kombat on April 23rd.
I'm looking forward to that. You know,
that's going to be real good.
I don't understand why the streaming services have to keep those numbers to themselves. You know, let the public know what's popular, how many people are watching a certain show. You know, why is something being canceled when you assume that it's popular and, maybe it's not based on their numbers, but, the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong is their highest watched program yet is encouraging. HBO Max didn't start out strong, but it certainly has caught up to where it needed to be.
Yeah, it's definitely where it needs to be. Great service, and I agree. They should have like they have ratings for TVs. They should have some type of viewership poll or something that on the streaming services as well. That'd be a nice thing. I sent you this article yesterday, kind of a random, weird entertainment news, but Murray had spoken up and said that he said something pretty surprising about Ghostbusters, which might count as a terrible favorite movie. I don't know. I didn't think
no, it was a flat out good movie. I would say that it was almost as good as the first one.
Yeah, I like that one. Some of the stuff today, I don't know if it holds up as well, but I still love it. Fans know that Bill Murray had, he said on 1989's Ghostbusters 2 wasn't what he would call a fun time. And he said it ended up being the reason he never agreed to return for a third movie. As we know, the Ghostbusters the Ghostbusters franchise was rebooted in 2016 with Paul Feig, and the sequel to the original two movies is scheduled to arrive later this year. Murray appeared in both of those films. However, in a new interview, he spoke very candidly about how he and other cast members got signed on to the original sequel, saying they were all tricked in a way. Ghostbusters 2 ended up not being the story they wrote, Murray said at a Santa Barbara International Film Festival. They got us in the sequel under false pretenses. Harold had this great idea, but by the time we got shooting it, I showed up on the set and went, "What the hell is this? What is this thing?" But we were already shooting it, so we had to figure out how to make it work. That was a great bunch of people. Just to be together was great. I probably liked the first one better than the second one just because the first cut is the deepest. We were in New York, and we really made a mess in New York for a couple of months, but we had a lot of fun with it. People in New York will accept things, but those uniforms, when we rolled into places, people thought, they've got cool uniforms. They must be somebody. People thought we were legitimate. When we drove around the car with red lights on one-way streets, it just looked like we were in charge of the situation. It was a lot of fun, that first one. We didn't get away with much on the second one. Murray also reflected on his time working on Ghostbusters Answer the Call from 2016, adding, "I was just happy to be a fly on the wall. The new upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife was physically painful because I haven't had to put the proton pack on in years. But the movie will be worth seeing when it's released later this year." So Ghostbusters Afterlife debuts November 11th, but it's pretty surprising to hear that he didn't really enjoy doing the second one.
Well, and the irony of that is that, he gets onto the Ghostbusters 2 set, says, "Oh, this isn't what was written down. Have you heard the story about Ghostbusters 1? I mean, it was a completely different movie before they started shooting it. I mean, they were rewriting the script as they went along. So, I mean, how surprised really could he have been?"
Yeah, I couldn't have been that surprised, especially with how tight he is with Dan Aykroyd. I figure Amos, I mean, they go back, so you think that they would know. I mean, I agree with you. It turned out to be a really good movie, though.
I absolutely agree. I'm looking forward to Afterlife, and obviously he said putting the proton pack back on, which means we know that he's got at least a somewhat significant role in this upcoming one.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And what I like is they haven't really sent any teasers or anything else lately on that movie, so you still have that appetite with just the one trailer they released. That's all that ever came out was the one.
Which, again, didn't show a whole lot, so...
Yeah. Hey, on a change of pace from TV news to just theme park news, you planning on going to Disney World anytime soon?
Probably not Disney World. Disneyland, when it reopens, I go down to Southern California pretty much once a month. It's a little on the pricey side, but I'd love to get back there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely fun. I happen to be going to Walt Disney World here in a couple weeks, but this is for you guys, the listeners, if you're planning on going, as Walt Disney World guests will be temporarily able to remove their masks while taking outdoor photos starting April 8th. They must remain stationary and physically distanced from others while doing so. The park allows you to take your mask off while actively eating or drinking, provided they're stationary and distance. So if you have to be warned if you're standing, waiting, or sitting in dining locations, which is pretty normal. But the fact that you can take it off and do selfies or whatever, it's pretty good, useless information right there. Glad I could share that wasted story there. Today in video game news, a little random. Mario 35 was a battle royale type game. Play for free if you were a Nintendo Online subscriber. Well, today, to replace it, because it's no longer available, obviously the 31st is when Mario died, so you can't access the game anymore. It's up, but when you go to play it, it boots you out. It doesn't let you play. But Pac-Man 99 is the latest battle royale game. So Pac-Man 99 is a online Pac-Man battle royale that's exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. It's available right now. Came out this morning. Much like Tetris 99 and Super Mario 35, it's a multiplayer focused take on one of the most iconic games. So basically, you will start out in one round of Pac-Man and go up against 99 other players, which I kind of like these battle royale games. It was a fun new way to play both Tetris and Mario. So I'm looking forward to playing this, especially considering that it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So
exactly.
You can't beat the old school free.
Now with Pac-Man, and I don't know if you ever got a chance to, they Pizza Hut had the AR Pac-Man experience where you get a $10 tastemaker and then you use your phone to play Pac-Man in this AR environment. But it was slow and it was clunky and you had to get the highest score in order for a chance to win the arcade 1-up machine. Hopefully Pac-Man 99 is a little more user-friendly than what Pizza Hut tried to do.
Hopefully. I'm sure it being on Nintendo Switch, it definitely will. But I did not get a chance to play the Pizza Hut one. But that's all right. I'm glad you got to play it, though. But that's really it. There wasn't a whole lot in the entertainment world, so we'll just roll on to the birthdays this last minute here. It's my birthday! All right. Actor, choreographer, and stuntman whose notable films include Rush Hour Trilogy, Enter the Dragon, Shanghai Noon. Jackie Chan is 66. He was also that big joke in Family Guy. Jackie Chan. Oscar-winning actor who won 4 awards for Best Actor after playing Maximus in Gladiator, and he played Javier in 2012's Les Miserables. He was also in Cinderella Man, American Gangster, and Master and Commander, Russell Crowe, 56. Acclaimed director of the iconic 1972 film The Godfather, which he won Academy Awards for Best Screenplay and Best Picture. He directed part 2 and 3 as well. And The Apocalypse Now with Martin Sheen and Marlon Brando. Francis Ford Coppola is 81. He's also got his name attached to some wine. And that's it for your celebrity birthdays for April 7th. Happy birthday.
Well, folks, that does do it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it's Wednesday. We're going to run down Words Are Hard. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. And we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And if you want to get a hold of me on social, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, Radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Radio. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, being that it's Wednesday, we like to explore the English language and some of the intricacies and weirdness that makes up the language that we speak every day, with a segment I like to call Words Are Hard. Now, this week's Words Are Hard is all about tech terms, technology terms. These are words and terms that have come about in the last 20, 30, 40 years. You know, they don't have old English meanings that go way back. And this actually stemmed from something Jesse and I were watching a couple days ago, where somebody makes a joke about, what's a mailer demon? And they talk about how they hold on to your email in exchange for your soul. And I thought it was a funny little remark, and then thought, wait a minute, where does mailer demon actually come from? So looked it up, and actually the name is taken from Maxwell's demon, an imaginary being from a thought experiment that constantly works in the background, sorting molecules. Maxwell's demon is consistent with Greek mythology interpretation of daemon, Daemon, as a supernatural being working in the background with no particular bias towards good or evil. So I thought with that, maybe look up some other tech terms and find out the origins of which. So Tony, I'm going to throw the tech term at you. You tell us what it is, and I'll tell you where it came from. So let's go ahead and get started with Words Are Hard. This first one is something you were having issues with during the first commercial break, Tony. The term is Bluetooth. What is Bluetooth?
Bluetooth is a technology that just is supposed to link wirelessly your device to your other device. But we're having issues connecting to AirPod and my other backup set. So I don't know where they got the name Bluetooth from, but that's what it does.
It's almost like your computer knew that we were going to be talking about this. So
weird, right?
Nice little story to tell behind it. But so we know what Bluetooth is. Question is, where did that name come from? Well, the 10th century King Harold Gormson is known for uniting all of Scandinavia and having one gnarly tooth so rotten it looked blue. Hence, he earned the nickname Bluetooth. His kitschy moniker and ability to bond nations inspired Jim Kardak, a software developer from Intel, to pitch Bluetooth as the name for a single wireless standard that Intel, Ericsson, Nokia, and IBM were developing together in 1997. The name wasn't a huge hit, but since all the other names they were coming up with were even worse, for instance, Flirt, it was used as a code name or a placeholder for the project. All four companies finally agreed on PAN, Personal Area Network, as the name, but PAN was quickly panned due to SEO issues, and the product was released as Bluetooth out of pure desperation. The public, however, loved the name Bluetooth, ultimately conquered, and just like the king. So look at that. You learned something new where the term Bluetooth, something we use every day, came from. Well, let's keep moving on with Words Are Hard. The origins of tech terms. Here's another one that is near and dear to your heart, Tone. Podcast. What's a podcast?
Well, a podcast is just a basically your own little show you put out there on the internet or YouTube or wherever people get their podcast needs, and you put it together. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, but where the name comes from, I don't know.
Well, the name, and if you really think about the term, kind of makes sense. So logically, the word is a hybrid of the words pod from iPod, Apple, and broadcast. The term podcasting was merely a suggested term for the new technology in an article written by The Guardian's Ben Hammersley in 2004, along with the other contenders like audio blogging and guerrilla media. But due to the popularity of the iPod, which was released only 3 years earlier in 2001, podcast had an appealing snap that stuck. So that's where that came from. And it feels like we've been podcasting since 2004. I mean, we've been doing it for a while, Tone.
Yeah, it's been a long time we've been doing it for sure. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, let's keep rolling on. We're talking Words Are Hard. The origins of tech terms. For instance, this was one that I know not many of us like, but it is out there in the technology space. Spam. Tony, what is spam?
Well, spam is...
and not the canned meat.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the canned meat that you get from Hawaii. No, it's basically just like junk mail. It's unwanted mail that just piles up in your inbox. Luckily, most email companies, whatever one, does a good job of filtering spam, and it just goes into an unwanted area that you don't have to see all that junk.
Perfect. I don't think I could have summed it up any better. But spam, as far as the origins go, well, we know for years that it was a canned mystery meat worthy of mockery, so much so that Monty Python did a sketch about it in which the word spam was repeated over and over by a waitress, customers, and even a group of Vikings. Many Monty Python fans were also early MUD, Prodigy, and AOL chat room frequenters who used the word spam to refer to people who created macros to say the same thing over and over again, clogging up chat rooms with their repeated nonsense. So when repetitive masses of unwanted email began circulating in the early 90s, people familiar with the interwebs began dubbing it spam, and the popularity of the term soared like processed meat at a grade school food fight. So that's where spam came from.
Crazy it did stem off the actual spam, though. It's pretty funny. That Monty Python. No idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the Monty Python plays spam a lot. Well worth checking out. All right, let's keep moving on. Talking Words Are Hard. Here's another one I know you're familiar with because you're a gamer, Tone. The word is noob.
Noob is you're a new player to the game, whatever it may be, whether it's Call of Duty or any type of game, and you're not very good at it. So you go in there and you get your ass schooled. It's pretty much a noob. And you can use that really for anything in life anymore. They say it, like whether you're new to the job, but that's where it comes from. You're just new and not very experienced.
Exactly. Well, the term newbie was used in the military during the Vietnam War for new recruits and since has become a popular slang term for a novice. Computer programmers adopted the term in the 90s with the emergence of Leet Speak, which is L337 speak, and gave it a techie tweak, the variant noob, N00B, spelled with 2 zeros instead of O's. And so, it's fun to see how maybe a slightly older word has progressed into the tech space to become noob, N00B. All right, we've got still a few minutes left and plenty to go through. So let's roll on to our next one here in Words Are Hard. Next to spam, I think this is something that we all hate even more, a troll. What is a troll, Tone?
Well, a troll wasn't. It was those long-haired things with the naked butts and the little gemstone in their stomach. No, it's a troll is basically like a trickery. It's to get you to take the bait and make you fall for a prank or something. Like if you're listening to the show, I'll let you in on a little thing. Like there was an April Fool's Day joke that I'm moving to Florida, and I'm trolling people by just putting the date. And the date does mean I really am going, but for vacation. I'm being very vague, but I'm trolling people into thinking that it's a real thing. So,
and it's people who can basically pick fights behind the wall of anonymity when it comes to computers. Well, rooted in the 17th century Scandinavian folklore, a troll once characterized an antisocial, quarrelsome, and slow-witted creature that was bothersome to humans. End of story, right? Well, no. The word troll actually derives from the verb trolling, a fishing technique in which you slowly drag a baited hook from a moving boat. Many believe that the birth of online trolling was on alt.folklore.urban, or AFU, when veterans would distinguish themselves from newer users by baiting them with topics that had previously been discussed ad nauseum. Newbies would take the bait and naively reply, exposing their uncool noob ways. In the late 90s, however, the site became so highly trafficked that trolling was rendered a nuisance, giving the modern tech term once more a negative connotation. The meaning today now more closely resembles its true Norse roots, an idiot looking to pick a fight. So that's where we get troll from. And then finally...
makes sense.
Yeah, I think we got time for one more here in Words Are Hard. Again, something we use every day, Google. What's Google, Tone?
Google is a search engine. It's a popular website. I mean, it's gone on to everything, but it started out just as a regular old search engine.
Well, if you find Google to be a calculating corporation, you're not far off. The name Google is actually a play on the mathematical term for Google, Googol, a number represented by the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. The name acts as a metaphor for founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin's mission to organize a seemingly infinite amount of information on the web, which, if you follow Google, they've just about done at this point. So with that being said, that does it for Words Are Hard on this Wednesday. When we come back, we've got a segment called Teach Me Your Ways. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. And, we have reached the final segment of this first hour, but don't fret, there is still plenty ahead with our second hour, including our call-in topic of your favorite terrible movie. This is a movie that you know is terrible, everybody else knows is terrible, but you love it anyway. If you've missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, well, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Dozer. Oh, no, that's the second one. Almost went into what we would do at the end of the show, but while you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends, because sharing is caring. Now, in this segment that I've titled, Teach Me Your Ways, we're talking about the difference between high school teachers and college professors or college teachers. Tony, I know that you went to community college for a couple of years. Did you notice a big difference between your teachers there versus our teachers in high school?
Not really. But I feel like the ones in high school probably cared a little more. I didn't feel like my professors that I had there, I kind of felt like they were just like, you're here if you want to be here. They were a lot more like, hey, you're paying for this. So if you want to pay attention, great. You don't want to pay attention, no big deal. Whereas school had to be there. So they were always paying attention and making sure you understood it and paid for the most part. So I felt was the big difference.
I agree, and I think for the most part, it has to do with class size. When I went to UNR for my first year of college, I was basically a number in a room full of hundreds of other students. Then I transferred down to film school down in Southern California where, I was one of 20, maybe one of 30 at the most, and it was a little more personalized from there. But in any case, we are going to run down the differences in teachers between high school and college with a segment I call Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
Ooh.
Obi-Wan was a teacher, so figure that would be a good transition
Yeah,
audio.
I like that one.
All right. Well, let's start off with Twitter user Tyler Hickman says, middle school, they won't tolerate this in high school. High school, this won't work in college. College professor, y'all want some milk duds? And I mean, laid back is really one way to put a lot of college professors. And we'll see that sort of common theme throughout these, but it's true. We were told all through high school, when you get to college, it's not going to be this way. Well, you were right, just kind of in the opposite direction.
Right.
All right. Let's keep rolling on talking. Teach me your ways.
Good job.
This from Twitter user Yvette Macera says, high school teachers, your future college professors are not your friends. You have to treat them with a different level of respect. College professor, dude, just call me John.
Yeah. Simple. Like it is one of those things that they're laid back again. It's on your dime. So, the teaching's a little different. And most of the time, the teachers are they're going to school themselves. So,
yeah, that is the case in a lot of ways. And then the other thing you have to realize is if you don't show up for class, they'll just fail you in the class. It's not like you get truancy. It's not like you get detention. If you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there, and they don't really care. So let's keep moving on.
You don't like it. You don't like it.
Exactly. Teach me your ways.
Good job.
Twitter user Katie Walter says, high school teachers, you have to be professional in college. Your professors aren't going to put up with anything. College professor, do you guys mind if we keep the lights off for class today? I'm hungover. While another kid is eating mashed potatoes behind me. So, knowing that college professors are human, they go out, they drink just like everybody else, and especially if it's in a college town. Yeah, they're out there getting a little messed up right along with their students. On the opposite end in high school, it was always weird to see a teacher outside of the school environment and always a little freaky because you never really saw them as real people.
Right. It was always strange when I worked at the video store and they would come in and rent movies. It was weird because then you knew their first name and it was different. It was because you still call them Mr. or Mrs. whatever their names were. But when you knew like their name was Barry or Jane or something like that, then it was just weird.
Very strange. And then the other thing,
I'm supposed to know that.
Yeah. Tony and I are pushing 40 at this point. And of course, when we were in high school, we saw teachers that were in their 30s and early 40s as super old. And turns out, nope, they're just like you and I are right now.
Yeah. They just, everybody ages. Well, not, but in theory, everyone's supposed to age, right?
Everybody but Paul Rudd and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Paul Rudd does. All right,
let's keep rolling on, talking Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
From Twitter user Alexia Consolado says, my English professor walked into class, saw algebra on the board and yelled, oh, what the F is this? Get me an eraser before I pass out. Not everybody loves math, and hopefully he wasn't an algebra professor because that would be a little bit of an issue.
Oh, yeah. It'd just be a smidge, just a little.
Continuing on. Boy, it is Wednesday. Words are hard. Talking, teach me your ways.
Good job.
Twitter user Indiana Vitara says, high school teachers, no cussing or it's detention for you. College professors, what the F is wrong with this projector? Yeah, again, no rules in college. And, none of that translated from what they told us in high school.
Not at all. They don't tell you those types of things.
Let's keep moving on. Teach me your ways.
Good job.
Teach me.
Twitter user Metaye Markley says, why did high school teachers always make college professors sound so strict and scary when in reality they're like, what's up? You can call me Andy. I illegally downloaded the textbook if you need it, and I also have a gambling problem too. Yeah, that's so chill. But that actually reminds me of having to buy textbooks in college, how much money I spent on those. And then you try to turn them back in at the end of the year to get money back. And they go, oh, no, a new edition's coming out next year. We can't give you any money for it. And the new edition would be, slight changes. Frustrating. So much money. So
right.
Much.
You're like...
Rolling on, talking, teach me your ways.
Good job.
Twitter user Lizzie Smith, I snuck out my phone during a lecture and immediately received this. Cue the X-Files theme. It's an airdropped photo from the Professor Donaldson's phone, and it's a picture of Michael Scott from The Office. Hand over the mouth quietly. I'll kill you. Love it when professors have a good sense of humor.
Always good. It's nice. I like. Always enjoyed the professors and teachers. Very entertaining. Mr. Reinhardt, man, that guy was hilarious.
He was great. He was wonderful, and he never took things too seriously. He would maybe have made a better college professor, in fact.
He would have been a better one for sure, yeah. Especially with his pottery items that he sells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moving on, talking Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
Another one I would have loved to have been in this class. Twitter user Cassie says, high school teachers, your college professors will not be as laid back as I am. College professors send out a homework assignment. I will give prizes to the top 3 Bernie memes you send me. Submit to me or Steven via email by 129. 1 submission per entry, please. The prizes are dead ass yeet, bro. I don't know what those last 3 words mean, but Bernie memes.
You don't know what yeet, bro, is?
I don't know what dead ass yeet, bro, is.
Dead ass yeet, bro.
But if my assignment was to make a Bernie meme, sign me up.
Like, yeah.
Rolling on, Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
Twitter user Savannah Lee Acri says, high school teachers, college professors aren't going to baby you. College math professor, my husband made y'all some fudge. I would have loved some fudge. I never had a professor bring me food.
No, never had a single teacher bring food. Not unless it was like a, I think when you're kids, there used to be the bake sales and stuff they would do. But it'd be like your other classes, and that would be the only thing I think they'd bring in. But it was never like treats or anything like that I can remember.
I'd be down for some fudge. But in any case, let's roll on. Talk and Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
Twitter user Kristen KT says, high school teachers, your college professors are not going to put up with this. College professor who wants to race me in the parking lot. That's a badass college professor.
No, absolutely.
And then finally, here and Teach Me Your Ways.
Good job.
Before we head to the break, Twitter user Malt says, high school teachers, college isn't a joke. College professor puts up a thing on the board, says, what would Professor Carlson's rap name be? Would it be A, DJ AC Slater, Lil Al, 21 Allen, or Playboy Allen? Sounds like a pretty badass college professor.
DJ AC Slater. Every day.
Sounds good. Well, folks, that does it for the first hour. We are headed into our long break. Enjoy the news. Use the bathroom. Join us back here in 7 minutes. We will see you all then.
7.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How do you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the multiverse of pop culture entertainment. To explore our complete lineup of quality programs, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. Europe's health regulator has concluded there is a possible link between the Oxford-AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine and very rare cases of blood clots. The European Medicines Agency reiterated its message that the vaccine can continue to be used in Europe with benefits that far outweigh the risks. But in the UK, the decision has now been taken to offer alternative vaccines to the under-30s. From FSN's Europe desk in Brussels, Lucy Hoff reports.
In its updated guidance, the European Medicines Agency said unusual blood clots should be listed as a very rare side effect of the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. The regulator said there had been 18 deaths amongst the 34 million people given the vaccine in the European region, including the UK, with most cases occurring in women under 60. Nonetheless, the body said the benefits of the vaccine outweighed the risk of serious side effects. In simultaneous press conferences, the UK's regulator announced a tougher position, recommending that 18 to 29-year-olds be offered an alternative vaccine. Lucy Hoff, Brussels.
Meanwhile, in Brazil, daily deaths from COVID-19 have risen above 4,000 for the first time. Some hospitals in the country are said to be at breaking point. Brazil is facing a major public health and political crisis after President Jair Bolsonaro downplayed the dangers of the pandemic and refused to impose lockdowns. China is threatening a robust response if the United States organizes a boycott of next year's Winter Olympics in Beijing. It comes after the U.S. State Department suggested but then denied that the idea was on the table. FSN's US correspondent Will Denzelo with more.
State Department spokesperson Ned Price announced that an Olympics boycott was one option on the agenda as the US discusses a China strategy with allies. But Price has seemingly now walked back those comments, stating on social media that the 2022 Beijing Winter Games are a ways off, and consultations continue to establish a shared strategy. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson has dismissed allegations of human rights abuses in its Xinjiang region and warned of a robust response should there be an Olympics boycott. William Denzelo, New York.
The US is warning that China is becoming more aggressive in its approach to Taiwan, raising fears of a takeover of the island. Beijing views Taiwan as a breakaway Chinese territory, while the US has promised to defend its democracy. From FSN's Washington Bureau, Nick Harper reports.
Top US officials are warning that China may be moving up its timetable for takeover. If that were to happen, it could spark a US-China conflict. The US has long maintained it would help Taiwan defend itself, but has not been specific in exactly what that would look like, or whether it would bring Washington into direct conflict with Beijing.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, April 7th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, are you ready for the fastest hour of the day?
I sure am, buddy. Let's roll.
Yeah, tech issues aside, hopefully everything goes smooth. Knock on wood. Got some wood around here somewhere. It's been a weird week for technology, that's for sure.
It's been frustrating. It's between my modem crapping out, and now I can't seem to have good connection issues to our first hour. There was scratchy issues, which you couldn't hear, but myself and I don't know if everyone else could hear it. When you go to play back the video, there's some scratchy. It does stop at the last segment we did before the break. So if you can put up with it, but it's kind of hard in the ear, though. I'm just like, it's good now. It's all clear, clean, looks good. Currently shows full bars. So,
and of course, the minute you say that, you freeze momentarily. But anyway, we roll on through those issues.
Yeah, it dropped back to 2.
This is the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers, on our topic of the day, which is why we give it 24 hours in advance. Ask you to call on the Fenix Line at 855 Phoenix Radio, or if you're watching, it is right up there. Hold on. Boy, I would be a terrible weatherman. Right up there.
Right.
But the other thing, you can also chime in live by going over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video there and comment. Or as we do in the next segment, we'll open up the stereo app, do a little stereo roulette. We never know what we're going to get, but that's part of the fun of it. So today's topic is your favorite terrible movie. We're not talking about a movie that you think is terrible and you hate. We're talking about a movie that you know is terrible, but you love. Everybody else thinks it's terrible. Some other people love it. Other people hate it, but maybe it holds a special place in your heart, but it's your favorite terrible movie. Now, Tony, I pose the question to you. What is your pick for your favorite terrible movie?
I thought about this. I have 2 of them, but I'll just go with one for now, and we'll let others say theirs when it's time. But I'm gonna have to say The Wizard. It's just one of those movies that when as kids we loved it and we thought it was great. Watching it as an adult, it's freaking bad. I mean, it is like so many plot holes. You pick it along. Like, how do these kids get across the Utah and Nevada to California with no money and they just hustle video game people, but yet they're able to change their clothes, they're able to eat their food, and nobody questions them stopping at all these local video game places. Like, I still like the movie. I bought it on Vudu, and I've watched it, but it is just overall, like, if that came out today, or if like no one had seen it, that movie's actually really bad. Like, it is, it is bad. It's.
I think you like it because your cousin Fred Savage is in it.
Yeah, my cousin Fred, my doppelganger. But it is not a movie I think you could classify as a good movie. It is bad, but I love it. I still enjoy it, but I know it's bad. I mean, it's crap.
What's funny is that movie is a movie that I have fond memories of, but I have not seen in 20 years, 25 years. So I'm afraid almost to go back and watch it because of exactly what you just said. Am I going to be disappointed? Does it not hold up because of X, Y, and Z? But, thinking back onto it and, seeing it and, obviously Super Mario 3 first shown in that movie and everybody was losing their mind.
You should go back and watch it sometime and just let me know if you still have the fond memories. I think it's because I liked it so much as a kid. Like, watching it now, I still like it. Because you think about movies you go back and watch that don't hold up, like a Howard the Duck or something like that. Then you're like, oof. But that's how it was. I went back and watched The Wizard, and I wasn't like, oof. I was just like, this is pretty bad, but I still like it. So I'd still go back and watch it again one day, but I don't know if it's like the another big thing is like there's little things that irritate me in the movie, but I could still like it's the drive to Lake Tahoe, but then all of a sudden they're in a roundhouse driving. I'm like, well, you wouldn't backtrack there to go there, but I digress. You would only know that if you lived in Nevada. So
exactly, yeah, and those are the little things. But for me, my favorite terrible movie, and I picked two as well, but I'll start with one, and we'll mention the others if somebody else doesn't. But Masters of the Universe. Now, I'm a big proponent of movies that are adaptations of pulp culture things that we love, being as close to the canon as possible. But something about that movie, and it diverts way from the original 80s cartoons. The acting is not so good. You've got Dolph Lundgren. You had Courtney Cox before she was one of the friends. But something about that movie is so terrible, it's good to me. And enjoy watching it. It's cheesy. We know it was rushed. So many terrible, terrible parts of it. Huge plot holes. But something about it, maybe it's just my childhood. Maybe it's, going to the store after seeing the movie, Toys R Us, and getting the He-Man, the electronic He-Man sword. Something that just, sparks that time when it was simpler as a kid. But regardless, that movie is pretty terrible.
But you love it, so it's still good.
I do.
All right,
and that's what we're talking about, folks. Terrible movies that you love. Go ahead and chime in now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just click into the live video there, or you can join us on the Stereo app at stereo.com/Fenix Media. When we come back, it is all about you guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few.
Behold, my precious. Ooh, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, yeah, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box. Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Loot Crate box. What's with kids today, huh?
Wowzers! With kits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a batch just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/loot crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIXmedia.us/loot crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a loot crate, dig it?
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show, and we are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers, on our topic of the day. Now go ahead and chime in on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video there and comment, or you can join us in just a few minutes on the Stereo app at stereo.com/Fenix Media, where we go through, pull people at random. But of course, you can get in line to chat with us live on today's topic, which we're talking about is favorite terrible movies. So again, this isn't a movie that you think is bad because it's terrible. It's a movie you love and know is terrible at the same time. Tony's pick was The Wizard. Mine was Masters of the Universe. For some reason, I had my other pick in the back of my head. But let's go ahead and go to you guys. Tony, I know you probably reached out to a few of our diehard Phoenix fans to get their input. What did they say?
I would say Mike and Lacey in, and one of Lacey's favorite guilty pleasures is she loves all three Porky's movies. All three of them. She loves all of them.
I would say, I mean, the first
one
was
the first two, but I don't know if I saw three.
I only saw the first one. I remember it being sort of cheesy, but I would assume that the follow-ups were probably pretty terrible.
Yeah, that was where you found out what glory holes were, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Another one, Michael. She says, by the way, don't let Michael fool you. There are terrible movies that he loves. And he said all the movies he loves are amazing, including Orgasmo. Right.
I was thinking about Orgasmo a little bit,
yeah,
you know.
Orgasmo and Chota Boy. That one was a terrible but pretty good movie if you like the Trey Parker, Matt Stone humor, which we do. Killer Clowns from Outer Space
does not hold up.
Lacey still loves it. And Mike said it is excellent. Bella's answer is the live action Mulan. And then Lacey also said the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Ooh, good pick.
Yeah, she's like, she loves it mainly just because of John Leguizamo. She knows it's bad. She knows it's terrible, but she loves it regardless.
That's another one like Masters of the Universe where it has almost nothing to do with the source material, but something about it being part of our childhood holds a special place in your heart.
Right. That's it's one of those. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't know if it holds up or not. I haven't watched it since I was little. So I just remember the Goombas were weird. They were like those grown things. I'm like, that was a little strange. Daisy was kind of hot, I thought, as a kid.
That's right. Yeah. That's another one I haven't seen either in a while, and might be worth going back and giving it a watch. So does it hold up? Is it just craptastic?
Yeah. We'll have to see. I don't know. Let's see. Stacy chimed in. She said, "Mommy Dearest." That was one, and then Howard the Duck. Yeah. And Masters of the Universe, just like you, and Santa Jaws. Never heard of Santa Jaws.
Might be worth checking out, though. I assume it was probably one of those Sci-Fi Channel hybrid monster type movies, like Sharknado.
I'm picturing like when I hung out with her, she's wearing a shirt that said "Pause," but it was like a cat coming up, and it was the Jaws cover. So that's just what I picture. And Jamie Anna chimed in last night. She's in surgery this morning, so I'll wish her a speedy recovery. But she chimed in last night. She said Benny in June. She enjoyed it, but a lot of her friends said it was a real terrible movie. I remember that just being the infamous one with Johnny Depp, and he had the long hair and the hat, and he stuck his straws in the donut thing and made it dance.
I saw it on a plane once. That's the only time I've ever seen it. I remember it being somewhat entertaining, but of course that was before Johnny Depp only played characters.
Right. That's when he just played a normal role. Exactly. But that's it. Great feedback from everybody. The other one I was going to say was Armageddon. It's I like it, man, but that's a pretty bad movie though. It is not that good.
But I don't know if it quite qualifies as terrible. It has
maybe not, but it's very cheeseball-y. Like the acting, like Ben Affleck at the end. Harry, I love you. I mean, I enjoy Armageddon. That's why I went with Wizard over that, because Wizard's straight cheese, man.
Again, if you put Armageddon along with the other movies of its time, Con Air and The Rock and Independence Day, movies like that, it's pretty much par for the course. Of course, looking back on it now, it's a little cheeseball. And of course, anything Michael Bay does has its own issues. But I don't know. I think The Wizard may have been your most on point pick.
Yeah. What was your other one?
My other one was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. This was long after Richard Donner had exited the Superman franchise. This was the one with Nuclear Man, who had like weird long fingernails and had some weird underlying like Greenpeace message. And it was so bad. But again, it's one of those movies that, when I was a kid growing up, it came out as a brand new movie. Obviously I wasn't old enough to see the original Superman and Superman 2 in the theaters. And so I loved it. I loved seeing Superman on the big screen and then going back and watching it. It's like, yeah, this is pretty terrible.
Yeah. I would say Batman and Robin, but that one was legit terrible. Like, it's not even good.
No.
It's bad. I like the Video Maniacs edition. So, yeah. Everybody freeze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we've got about 4 minutes left. So if you do want to chime in, there is still time to head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Let us know what your pick is for terrible movie that you happen to love. It's your favorite. And let's head on into the stereo app. Are you ready, Tone?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Hopefully it's better than yesterday. But how's it going? You're on the Kristian Fenix radio show.
Wait, what's that?
We are
You're on the radio.
Yeah. Just talking, whatever we're feeling like. For instance, today we're talking about your favorite terrible movie. This is a movie you know is terrible, but you still love it. What comes to mind for you?
I don't really know. I mean,
any movie that you grew up with?
I can't really think of any.
As a kid, maybe that, sort of held a special place in your heart, and then you went back and watched it later on and thought, wow, this is really bad.
Toy Story.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Obviously, it was groundbreaking for the time, but if you look at the animation now, it doesn't quite hold up, but that's a great pick. Appreciate you chiming in. We're going to go ahead and keep moving on, but drop us a follow. We'd love to hear from you on a future topic.
Armageddon was more believable than that one.
Yeah, but, we do what we can. Let's keep moving on. We are on stereo, doing some stereo roulette. How you doing? You're on the Kristian Fenix radio show.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
So we're talking. We are talking your favorite terrible movie. What is a movie that you know is terrible, but you love anyway?
Action. Action.
Just action in general? Boy, when we've got three voices going at the same time, it gets
That's hard. Yeah. Who is he talking to? Me, myself, and I?
Probably. How you doing? You're on the Kristian Fenix radio show.
Hello, bye, booby.
It is important to talk when we bring you on. How are you doing today? Good. So we're talking favorite terrible movie. Is there a movie that you know is just awful, but you love it anyway?
Favorite movie, I think so.
Snoochie boochie noochies.
The other thing is, if you're going to join us on stereo, make sure you're not sitting in the bathroom. Let's try maybe one more here. How you doing? You're on the Kristian Fenix radio show. Nope. How are you doing today? So we're
talking yourself.
Doing good. We're talking favorite terrible movie. What is a movie that you love, but you know is just god awful?
What was the name of that film we watched? That Kung Fury. Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Nice.
Every time I see that, it makes me laugh, but I'd say that is a perfect pick. Well, we appreciate you chiming in. We're going to go ahead and keep moving on. But drop us a follow, and hopefully we'll hear you again. Not exactly sure what that last
Fury. He's getting Kung Fury on your ass.
Right.
At least he had one real movie.
Exactly. Good
Not
pick.
The Toy Story one didn't count.
Folks, that does it for this segment. When we come back, we've got a reoccurring segment of whatever happened to the cast of. Ooh. Gotta wait to find out. Join us after the break. We will see you then.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. And there's a little thing that we talk about a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, including our call-in topic of the day. We just wrapped ours up for today, which was your favorite terrible movie, and no, Toy Story does not count. But if you do want to chime in on anything, give us a call at 855-PHOENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, tomorrow's is not a call-in topic. Rather, a call-in contest is another edition of Fenix Face Off, where Tony's going to lead me against a potential caller in an edition of Rank It with Tony, where he pulls up a ranker list, and we try and figure out what the top 10 is by popular opinion, and see if we can win somebody some fabulous prizes. So if you want to participate in that, head over to phoenixmedia.us, click in the show's link, find the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, and at the bottom of that page, there is an entry form to be considered for our contest for tomorrow. Now, in this segment, it's a recurring segment that we do every once in a while called Whatever Happened to the Cast of? And in this case, we are talking about a show that is getting a reboot. Actually, you could call it a reboot with what is the original cast as opposed to being completely redone. And this is a show that Jesse and I have been catching up on. It's one of those shows we put on in the background or right before we go to bed, just as sort of a filler show. And I'm talking about this show.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Quite stylish.
Yes, we're talking Frasier.
Stylish.
And I've always wondered, is tossed salads and scrambled eggs a euphemism for something? But who knows? We'd have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
But Great show. I remember watching it as a kid with my parents and always thought it was a little stuffy. It was a little highbrow. But going back and watching it, I realized that it's stuffy and highbrow in certain parts for a reason, basically to show the difference between, these socialite people and everybody else. And it is just funny. I mean, the humor holds up. Yeah, it came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, but great show. And it's no reason why it's coming back for a reboot. It's just one of those things that, maybe it's time. So let's go ahead and run down the cast of Frasier, see what they've been up to. Of course, Kelsey Grammer, who played Frasier Crane. We've seen him in just about anything, but before his final curtain call as Dr. Frasier Crane, Kelsey Grammer already had a decent run in film, such as voicing the prospector in Toy Story 2. Terrible movie. So bad. And as behind-the-scenes presence in television like UPN's Girlfriends or NBC's crime thriller Medium. He has also executive produced many of his own series, including his many sitcom returns, award-winning political drama Boss. I'm telling you, Wednesday, words are hard. The animated IMDb TV original, You're Not a Monster, and, Frasier. Of course, Kelsey Grammer's latest movie career has not gone unnoticed, with him popping up in big franchises like Transformers, The Expendables, and an upcoming feature-length sequel to Netflix's animated Troll Hunter series, which has already come out since. Until his Frasier revival becomes a reality, he continues to make memorable big screen and small screen appearances, and even at 65, I don't think anyone would mind seeing him play Beast again in another X-Men movie, which I think he was good. I think he was maybe the best part of that terrible X-Men, The Last Stand.
Yeah, he was good in that one. I was going to say, the only thing that was omitted that entire thing was the voice of Sideshow Bob in The Simpsons.
That's right. I'm surprised they didn't.
They don't have that in there. I was surprised to hear he was the prospector voice. I didn't get that.
I didn't know that. I picked that one up right away.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he had Show Bob. That was his big one.
Yep. Well, let's keep moving on with whatever happened to the cast of Frasier. For instance, Jane Leeves, who played Daphne Moon. Before playing Frasier's live-in housekeeper, English actress Jane Leeves made her uncredited feature film debut in Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. I didn't know she was in that. And had a more prominent appearance in 1985's To Live and Die in L.A., both of which exhibited her dancing skills. All right. She also made an impression on British television, such as on The Benny Hill Show, before recurring roles on Murphy Brown and Seinfeld earned her pre-Frasier acclaim in the States. Post-Frasier, the 60-year-old actress has found further success as a therapist on Desperate Housewives, one of the central characters on TV Land's Hot in Cleveland, and currently on the Fox medical drama The Resident as a regular. Jane Leeves has also lent her unmistakable voice to many animated projects for Disney, like James and the Giant Peach in 1996, the hit Disney Channel series Phineas and Ferb, and most recently on Mickey and the Roadster Racers as the Queen of England. I had no idea she did so much voiceover work. You, Tone?
Oh, boy. No, I had no idea. But that's pretty cool, though, that she stayed busy.
Yeah, luckily most of these actors have. It's just you don't see them so prominently as you did, in the show itself. For instance, David Hyde Pierce, who played Frasier's brother Niles Crane. You may also recognize David Hyde Pierce's voice from Disney projects A Bug's Life and Treasure Planet, and elsewhere, for instance, Abe Sapien in the first Hellboy film, which he went uncredited for out of respect for Doug Jones' physical portrayal. Yet most audiences should surely know his face from his multi-Emmy-winning role as Frasier Crane's fellow psychiatrist brother and Daphne's eventual husband, Niles. Spoiler alert. More recently, the Tony-winning... Right. The Tony-winning actor exceeded expectations in the 2010 dark comedy The Perfect Host, played disapproving father of gay rights activist Cleve Jones, despite being gay in real life, in the 2017 miniseries When We Rise, and reprised his wet-hot American Summer role in Netflix's prequel and sequel series to the 2001 cult comedy film. David Hyde Pierce will next appear on the thriller The Georgetown Project and will play Julia Child's husband, Paul, in an HBO Max series based on the celebrity chef's life. And he is by far my favorite character in all of Frasier. Has the best lines, the best timing, and his wit is just perfect. Do you enjoy David Hyde Pierce, Tone?
Hey, he's an entertaining actor for sure. He does some good stuff. His role in Frasier, in what little I've seen of the show, I was never big on it, but I have seen a few episodes, and his character definitely adds, good banter with Kelsey Grammer's Frasier and the other characters in the show.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing him come back and seeing what they do with him. Well, let's keep moving on, talking whatever happened to the cast of, Frasier. Perry Gilpin, who played Roz Doyle. Fun fact about Perry Gilpin, she played a reporter named Holly Matheson on the final season of Cheers, just months before she was cast as Frasier's radio producer, Roz Doyle, a role originally given to Lisa Kudrow before Friends came up. I didn't know that. She would go on to reunite with some of her Frasier co-stars through an appearance on the Kelsey Grammer-produced Medium and guest starring on Hot in Cleveland with Jane Leeves. Additionally, the 59-year-old Texan later played the mother of young gymnast on Make It or Break It, a school principal on Craig Robinson's short-lived Mr. Robinson, earned recurring roles on CBS procedurals, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, and Scorpion, among other TV guest appearances of a large variety. In 2020, Perry Gilpin starred in a low-budget drama about college hazing called Rushed, and 2021 will reportedly see her play opposite The Boys, Aya Cash, and Midsummer's William Jackson Harper in the comedy We Broke Up. So it'll be good to see her again.
Oh, yeah. Well, in the reboot, it's going to have all the same people in it, right? Is that what they're trying to do?
It will, except for this next person we're going to talk about, John Mahoney, who played Martin Crane, Baby Newworth's on-screen ex-father-in-law. John Mahoney also appeared on Cheers before he was cast in an entirely different role of Frasier and Niall's father, Martin, for which he earned 2 Emmy nominations. The actor, originally born in England in 1940, was previously best known for the historical baseball film 8 Men Out and the iconic 1989 rom-com Say Anything, both of which starred John Cusack. Well, that's a nice little connection. John Mahoney followed Frasier by once again playing Kelsey Grammer's father on The Simpsons as Sideshow Bob's dad, crossing paths with Jane Leeves as Betty White's boyfriend in Hot in Cleveland, and even returning to Broadway in 2007's revival of Prelude to a Kiss. Strange they mentioned Sideshow Bob in this one, but not Kelsey Grammer's. His final acting credit, Polish drama Mariette in Ecstasy, was filmed in 1995, but released in 2019, a year after his passing due to brain disease and lung cancer at the age of 77. So unfortunately, we will not see Martin Crane coming back, or at least John Mahoney as Martin Crane. But again, one of the best parts of that show, hands down.
I wish I watched more of the show. So,
hey, it's on.
To kind of share with you, yeah.
It's on Paramount Plus, so if you get Paramount Plus, you can certainly check it out.
All right.
And then finally, in whatever happened to the cast of Frasier, well, you had one of the other most iconic characters, Eddie, the dog, played by Moose. A retrospective on the cast of Frasier would feel incomplete without mentioning Moose. The Jack Russell Terrier played Martin Crane's dog, Eddie, and was famously mentioned in Kelsey Grammer's acceptance speech at the 1994 Emmys, despite the actor's genuine dislike of the furry diva behind the scenes. Moose was otherwise known from the title role of the family film My Dog Skip, which he also appeared in with his own son, Enzo, as the same character in 2000. That same year, Enzo was actually cast as Eddie on Frasier when his father passed at the age of 16. So Moose, also known as Eddie, lived to be 16 years old, but was supplanted by his own son in real life. But hopefully Enzo is still around for the reboot.
Right, you never know. Or the Russell Terrier.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for this segment of Whatever Happened to the Cast of Frasier. When we come back, we are headed into the final segment of the show. It is time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face. And posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky. Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. We are back, folks, and we made it to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. But if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
So is that a yes or a no?
Snarf, snarf. That's it. Just take it as it is. Use the gods today.
There you go. It's undetermined. Well,
yeah.
While you are there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, which is why we do this segment each and every day to round out the show, drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Crossing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, kicking things off this day in 1521, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan's fleet reaches Cebu. Oh, good old Cebu. You're vacationing there in a couple weeks, right, Tom?
I am, yes. I'm headed off to Cebu. I'm gonna just lay my ass out on the beach in Cebu. Cebu.
I have no idea what Cebu is, where Cebu is, but again, this is where a little extra information would be really helpful.
Exactly. Up in 1521.
Exactly. Moving on this day in 1724, Johann Sebastian Bach's St. John Passion premieres in Leipzig. It is amazing to see a work of classical music that's not titled something in D minor or, it actually has a name.
Yeah, St. John's Passion. It's my favorite jam. Next to 18 in Life and Youth Gone Wild.
I know you put it on in the morning when you're getting ready for work, so it's a good one.
Oh yes. Have you ever heard St. John's Passion?
I probably have. I couldn't pick it out of the lineup though.
Oh, no, me either.
Let's keep moving on.
It's on YouTube though.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But
moving on. This day in 1795, France adopts the meter as the basic measure of length, further screwing up things between the U.S. and the rest of the world in how we actually measure things.
Yep. Is it in meters? Is it in liters, inches, kilometers? Yeah. Just depends on where you're at.
Yeah, it's the metric system versus the imperial system. We use the imperial, everybody else uses the metric, and of course, if you're driving around anywhere, if you're going a kilometer per hour, you're bound to be confused compared to miles per hour. Right. Let's keep rolling on. In 1805, Lewis and Clark expedition leaves Fort Maiden, beginning their journey to the Pacific Ocean. And do you remember who their Native American interpreter and guide was, Tony?
Pedro Serrano. No, it was Sacagawea. Sacagawea.
Still one of my favorite pieces of American currency is that Sacagawea dollar.
Cool coin.
It is. It's kind of looks gold, but not gold. In fact, hopefully the boys aren't listening, but would give them those pieces of gold. The Tooth Fairy would give them those pieces of gold whenever they lost a tooth.
Oh, that's cool. You gave them just that. The Tooth Fairy gave that away.
Yeah, gave them gold worth $1 each.
Gave them gold.
Let's keep rolling on. This day in 1891. This is for Friday, and Mike, Nebraska introduces the 8-hour workday. Yes, you can thank this day in 1891 for that wonderful gift.
8-hour workday. Woohoo! Hey, I would love an 8-hour workday. I don't have.
Me too.
I work way more than that, so 8 hours would be welcoming.
Yep. I start every morning at 6:30, go till usually 7:30 at night. And so, which is why on the weekends, I value my sleep so much.
Hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Let's move on. This day in 1926, we generally avoid talking about things having to do with World War II. Obviously, this is a little bit before then, but I thought this was super interesting. Benito Mussolini is shot at 3 times by Violet Gibson in Rome. She only hits him once in the nose. Could you imagine being shot and all you get hit in is the nose?
Yeah.
Talk about lucky.
Survived 3 times. That's crazy. Maybe Violet Gibson was a stormtrooper.
There you go. Just terrible aim.
Terrible aim.
Moving on, this day in 1940, the U.S. Post Office issues the first postage stamp of African-American educator Booker T. Washington. Now, in 1940, I would assume he had already passed by then because the post office has a standing rule that they only memorialize people who have passed on.
This is true. Booker T., the five-time WCW champion.
I figured you were going to go there.
Yeah, I just didn't want to do it 5 times. Even though that was 3.
Rolling on, this day in 1968, riots continue in over 100 U.S. cities following the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Obviously, we had our own riots here in the past year, and compared to this, those were pretty much nothing. I mean, I'm very glad we didn't live in that time to have witnessed that.
Yeah, that's sad and crazy. I mean, just the amount of people. I mean, awful. Need. There was no need to take them out either, which was silly.
Yeah, a very sad day in American history.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What wasn't sad, well, maybe sad to this guy, was this day in 1969, Ted Williams begins managing the Washington Senators. They lose to the Yankees 8-4.
Isn't that funny? He goes up against his old team and he ends up losing.
Yeah, well.
Or no, he never played for the Yankees. I'm sorry, Red Sox.
You're right. He was a Red Sox.
Yeah, I just always think, the legendary ball Yankee at one point, but he was a famous Red Sox. But
well, to be fair, I mean, at one point there was only two teams, the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Do you think like if Nevada? It's just funny because we were the Senators, the Carson Senators.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we got a professional team, maybe in Vegas.
Nevada would be, Vegas would be where it would be at. I've heard it was going to be the Oakland A's at one point.
I'd take them. We already have the Raiders, so.
Yeah, if the A's moved to Nevada, I would adopt them as my AL team.
There you go. I
could get behind that.
Let's keep rolling on. This day, 1981. Street Songs, 5th studio album by Rick James, is released. It's the Billboard Album of the Year in 1981.
Rick James, bitch.
I figured you were going there too. Let's keep moving on. This day in 1986, WrestleMania 2 at 3 locations. Hulk Hogan beats King Kong Bundy, and Mr. T beats Roddy Piper in a boxing match. I forgot that they boxed in the WWF.
Yeah, they did, and then Roddy Piper ruined it because he body slammed Mr. T and got disqualified. So it's not even like they really boxed. I think there was a few like phony baloney hits, and then Piper slammed him.
You know better than I do. I don't remember it all that well. But finally,
I wasn't a big fan of the early WWF stuff, the 80s things.
Yeah.
80s WWF guy.
Well, maybe this one was a little bit beyond your time, but this day in 2013, WrestleMania 27 at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, John Cena defeats The Rock to win his record 11th WWE Championship. Of course, now they're both big movie stars and not wrestlers anymore.
No longer wrestlers. They're both out of it. So
both good actors too. So
actually, surprisingly, John Cena ended up being a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
What's funny is I think that was shush, you go. We're almost out of time.
I was going to say,
holidays.
We've got a ton of holidays to run down today, where we talk about the things that we like to celebrate. For instance, today is Empowered Women Entrepreneurs Day.
Ooh.
Near and dear to your heart, Tone, I know. It is Global Day of the Engineer. Okay. It is International Beaver Day.
I like beavers. They're little animals, big teeth.
International Day of Reflection on the 1994 Rwanda Genocide Day. Not quite as lighthearted. It is International Snail Papers Day, whatever that means.
Okay.
It is Metric System Day, for obviously reasons we just talked about. It is National Coffee Cake Day. I can get behind that.
Yeah,
it is National Beer Day. Can get behind that today too. It is National Day of Hope. It is National Making the First Move Day. You got that, Tone? Make the first move. It is National No Housework Day. Another one I can get behind. National Pet Health Insurance Day. It is Whole Grain Sampling Day. Again, who comes up with these?
I don't know. You can't sample anything.
Paraprofessional Appreciation Day. It is World Health Day, Public Television Day, and World Health Organization Day. Whew, that was a lot to get through, but we got through it. That does it for our show for today. We will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode on Thursday, meaning it's time for Florida Man. Folks, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We will see you all tomorrow.